you beautiful people, and welcome back to Season 2 of The Rubber Room. Did you miss us?
Oh!
This is the show where we talk about all things sexy, shiny, and sinful. I'm Cable, and the only thing bigger than my tail is my fifth leg.
I'm Romeo, and I'm feeling pretty dumb in this get-up. I
You
can't
should.
lie.
I love the apron. I need an apron. It looks great. This season, Rubber Room is committed to supporting local businesses that support the kink community, and the sponsor for today's episode is Twisted Beast. Twisted Beast is a queer-owned fetish brand based in Manchester and London, specialising in toys and poppers for all your kinky needs. Twisted Beast ships all around the world and has a safe delivery guarantee. Plus, no pesky complications with customs to make sure you can get straight down to having fun. Give them a follow on Instagram at Twisted Beast Store to stay up to date with all the latest news. Plus, use code RUBBERROOM on your next order to get 20% off poppers and 15% off toys. As always, a word of warning. Throughout this season, we're going to be talking about a range of different kinks. Some are safer than others. With kink, always make sure to stay safe, ask for consent, but most importantly, have fun. We're excited to be back in the Eagle Bar Manchester for yet another season. A huge thank you to the Eagle Bar for having us for the whole of Season 1, and really excited to be recording the whole of Season 2 here as well. So massive thank you.
Thanks to the Eagle team, full show. But before we start, it's time for Know Your Code! This season, we're educating the people on the hanky code and its importance in the kink community. Today's colour is black. And yes, just like Rihanna, chains and whips do excite me, because black represents S&M. If pain is your pleasure, then this one's for you. Wear it on your left if you like to dish it out, or on the right if you like it rough. And that's it for Know Your Code! Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
For today's episode, we have a very special treat because this is actually the lost episode of Season 1. That's right, we recorded this episode and due to technical difficulties, we could not share it. So we're back again, but this time bigger and better. This time we are really celebrating the spectrum of all things kinky with our amazing magical machine known as the Random Kink Generator. Ooh. Which is basically just a wheel on my laptop. But ultimately, on there, I've got every kink that's under the sun. And what we're going to be doing is seeing what comes up and then talking about it and sharing our personal preferences on those kinks. Just want to be really clear that we're not shaming kinks in any way. It's purely just how we feel about those kinks. We'll be talking about some of our own experiences, but here at the Rubber Room, we celebrate all kinks, which is why we wanted to dedicate an episode to looking at a variety of rainbow of kinks. Before we get kicked off, Romeo, how's life been since Season 1?
Yeah, it's been weird, because Season 1 wasn't that long ago, if we're going behind the curtain. There's going to be a break between us filming this and this coming out to you guys, so Season 1 was, it was good fun. We've had Christmas since. Which was nice and wholesome, so ready for some not wholesome activities. But yeah, it's been really fun, and it's been nice to see all the support, all the people interacting with all the posts and stuff. As it stands, we've still got one episode to drop from Season 1 at the moment, so there's still more to come. But it's been really gratifying seeing people engage with it, having people asking questions, getting people introduced to kink, getting people wanting to join us on the scene. Yeah, it's just been really fun. What about you?
Yeah, same. I think what's been so nice is the reception more than anything of the podcast. Like, when we kicked this off, I was wondering, like, whether people actually want to listen and hear about what we have to say. But I think there's a huge community out there of people eager to get into kink as well. And that's what the people that have been messaging me the most are the people that were like, I've been wanting something like this to learn more. And it does make me think back to 7 years ago when I started kink. Like, that's exactly what I could have really used. So I think I'm doing this mostly for them. Obviously, everyone can benefit from learning more about kink, but specifically those people that have been wanting to try it or not sure where to start, and they may not have the access to be able to explore it. So,
well, I think we've been lucky with some of the reels taking off and getting to, like, obviously our Instagrams are fairly tailored towards gay rubber kinksters, but the way reels and TikToks can just go and get to new people, and then you get new people involved in it.
One of the kinks which got over like 25,000 views in a week was just wild, because I don't think any of my reels have ever got that many looks. So That was absolutely amazing to see.
All to do with our editor putting it together so well. So big props to the editor, Leather Up Leather. I can't remember his handle. He's great, and he's listening in now. So take the praise. And then obviously we have a wonderful host and another all right host. So it seems to have gone pretty well. So yeah,
you put yourself down. We're both so integral to the back and forth, and I think that's what people have liked as well. Is we both have very different dynamics, different experiences.
Well, that's what I wanted when we were putting this together. I wanted us to be able to have a good conversation.
Yeah,
because that's what a good podcast is. Forget the content of the podcast. You need people that can talk to each other, and we've got that. So
exactly.
Magic.
Amazing. Well, without further ado, let's kick off with the first episode of the season. As I said, we're going to be talking about a variety of different kinks, so let's spin the wheel and see what comes up. I genuinely have no idea what the first one's going to be, so this is purely random and don't know what we're about to talk about. First up, we have...
Dun, dun, dun.
Gunge. What an interesting one to kick off with.
Yeah.
Have you got any experience of gunge play?
None. My experience of gunge is, do you remember Get Your Own Back? You might be a bit young to Get Your Own Back.
No.
Or 50-50. No, 50-50 didn't have gunge. Get Your Own Back. It was a kids TV show where kids would take one parent on and they'd compete for prizes, and then at the end, the winning kid would get to gunge their parents.
Oh, really?
So for me, gunge was very much not a sexual thing at all. And then gunge comes in with it's wet and messy or wham. You'll see it online, and also comes in with like mud play, which is just like dirty gunge. Really, it's not something I've ever been bothered by. The main thing of it is like I'm a bit concerned about the cleanup.
Yeah, obviously a very, very messy kink. But I think that's part of the fun of it. Like I have had some experience with gunge play, and it's been quite fun actually. Especially more so from those who like to receive it, like pouring gunge all over them, rubbing it in. I think it's also a great compliment to rubber, because the way it feels as it goes over your body,
slick and slidey
as well. Yeah, I've also this is a big throwback before I was even in sort of the kinky community, as it were. This was a jock event actually, where I participated in jock wrestling, but it was jock wrestling covered in like lube and gunge. And to be fair, that was very, very hot, because basically just slipping and sliding next to another very beautiful person, trying to tackle them to the floor, having crotches in faces, like was very, very fun. So from my experiences, I've really enjoyed gunge play, and I it's one of those kinks that I'd love to explore more, but as you said, it's the mess. Like, you need a good space to be able to do it.
Well, for like obviously most like all the gunges will probably be rubber safe, I imagine. Yeah. Like there's no damage to your gear. The reason I wouldn't go for mud play is because, like, I don't want to get mucky. I don't like getting my rubber mucky. I like it shiny. I don't mind it a bit dull. I don't want it dirty. Yeah. I want it to be, like, it's a clean look, so I wouldn't want to get it dirty. Guns would appeal to me more. It's just something it's never, come across. I've never been in a position to give it a go, really. How does it feel? Does it have any gritty bits in it?
I think it obviously depends on the consistency. I think like it's halfway between like lube and slime, I'd kind of say. Like it's not as fit, but I think it also depends on like obviously the brand that you get and how you make it up and all of that as well. But so I think it can be tailored to different preferences.
It definitely for me would feel like more on the playful side of things than the sexual side of things. But that's just me, and again I haven't experienced it. Who knows? I might get in it and get really horny. Who knows?
Right, on that note then, let's give it a score.
What are we doing it? 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10. So for each of these, we're going to give out a score of what we would rate it out of 10. What have you put?
I've put 5. Because I don't have a clue, but I'm open to it. So why not?
Good reasoning. I've gone for a 7, because from the experiences I've had, I have really enjoyed it. And it's something that I would gladly do again if someone was like, let's meet up for a gunge play. I'm like, yes, definitely. So.
Well, invite me.
Definitely, yeah. Well, come along. We'll find out if you like it. It'd be good. Right, you ready for the next kink?
Go for it. Hit me.
The next one is fantasy.
Fantasy
play. Yeah. So like thinking about bringing in fancy creatures, like mythical, all of that kind of thing. Like you've shared on the podcast before some of your fantasies around.
Well, like if we're talking like sci-fi and fantasy, like what do they call it? Hard fantasy. Does it call it hard fantasy? forgotten the term. I read fantasy books for like a passion project, and I've forgotten all the bloody names for it. But I don't know that like orcs or dragons are something that would turn me on personally. A handsome prince, I'm all for that. A dragon slaying prince is what I've mentioned previously, definitely. My fantasies are more sci-fi. I'm much more drone. Is that a different thing on here? Or is that in here?
I mean, I think it kind of crosses the line, because you obviously have like your anonymity and your drone and that kind of thing, but it's not to say that it can't tie into the
So if we're
sci-fi
just talking about pure, fantasizing and escaping reality, then I'm definitely down for that, because reality sucks. But I do like a man. Like, I like to be done by a man. I mean, if you want to put a horse cock on, fair enough. But I'm not necessarily, that's not something I need. I could like to be reduced to be less than a man, but I want him to be a man, So you get, like, you can do, orc masks and orc teeths and teeths? Orc teeths?
Teeths, yeah.
You get, you can get dragon dicks. There's all sorts out there. I think I'm just fairly ambivalent to most of it, because, I mean, if it's in rubber, I'm happy. If it's not, I don't want anything to do with it. So a rubber dragon's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubber in front of anything, and you sold me. Yeah. So,
basically.
No, I get that. I think, like, I personally have like a partial fairy fetish. I do believe
furry or fairy.
Fairy.
I heard fairy. I was like, what?
Fairy fetish.
I could have a fairy. Something fey. Like if we're talking evil, wild creatures, all sharp angles and like, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'll have sex with a fairy.
And I think like I've watched a lot of like fairy porn and stuff like that, especially because I think it ties into like the rubber. There's a lot of like muscle growth fairy porn, which I absolutely love. But I think because of that, I've then also ventured into more like fantasy creatures and things like that as well. I've just been sent a Twisted Beast Pegasus toy as well, which I'll be definitely using later. But the things like that, like as you said, things like horse cocks and things like that, I think it's really fun, and it is a bit weird, but in that sense, I really enjoy it because I think it is a bit different. And I think for me, it's like a blend between human and fantasy, and it's kind of that intertwining for me that I particularly like. So.
Yeah, well, there's a big move at the minute in the straight world. Lots of alpha porn stuff where like it's a woman being bred by the alpha man, and then he marks her with his scent, and then the whole like romantasy subgenre that's grown. I mean, some of it is absolutely wild and terribly written, which is why I've come across it, because I love a bad.
Yeah, sometimes the best stuff is the bad stuff. So.
But yeah, there's definitely a big push for it. There's a lot of just embracing fantasies, and let's be clear, the ancient Greeks, they was having sex with everything, like minotaurs and satyrs. Like the Greek god of the wild Pan is a satyr who's half man, half goat.
Yeah.
And he literally just fucked until he disappeared because we civilized the world. He was just fucking everything. He's a bit of a monster that way because he was like a wild beast. And there's a lot of that in us. I think a lot of sex is embracing the animal within.
Yeah, it's a primal desire in a sense, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think we created a society that's kind of like shut it off, but as you said, it's kind of always been there for history.
Well, what I find really interesting is when the invention of the blow-up doll came along, there had been a spate for centuries of people wanking off on statues, but then the inflatable doll came along, and that fetish has died because it's been replaced by one you can have in your own home. So, like, the fetishes have been around forever. Yeah. People have been into latex since before it was a thing. They just didn't know what it was. They didn't have the opportunity to express it. So all this new stuff bubbling up is not new. It's just it's the first time it's been accessible.
Yeah. I will say as well, one of my favourite, like, fantasy thinking about that as well would be werewolves and, like, werewolf transformation.
See,
like,
I'd go more vampire if I had to.
Vampire.
Because vampires are very sexy.
Yeah. That is true as well, I think. Depending on the vampire. I don't like the Twilight vampires. But...
No, Nosferatu's not.
You want like hardcore vampires?
No, I want I'm more like Interview with a Vampire style. Like, okay. But they're kind of like fey. They're otherworldly, strange. Like if elves were real, Tolkien elves, Christ, I'd be on my knees for them all day. Just beautiful, slightly alien monsters with just grace.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I don't think an elf has ever been pictured as anything other than beautiful.
Well, you get like little elves, like Santa's elves aren't sexy.
But when we're talking about like Lord of the Rings elves or like. I think.
Well, Lord of the Rings elves get turned into orcs. That's the first orc was elves turned by dark magic.
I see. I'm not enough of a buff about
Clearly.
it to know that. Right, what are we scoring in the fantasy then? What have you gone for?
I'm for a 6. And another guy going, I don't know. Because it looks more like he's doing the Egyptian dance. But yeah, it's definitely something I think I'd be more interested in. Again, it's just about finding a way to explore it.
Yeah.
But I'm more like, I'd do like cosplay and Renaissance stuff if that were more accessible to me. Because just jodhpurs and knee-high boots, that's just a great look.
Yeah, I agree. I also went for 6 as well.
Yeah.
I think it's tricky because fantasy is one of those ones that it's hard to do in real life because obviously it is, in most cases, impossible. Like, if being vampires, werewolves, these things don't exist. So I think trying to find ways to actually...
You'll find people out there that say it's real.
Yeah. And I think, like, there's ways you can kind of reenact it and things like that. Like, as we said, with toys and, like, obviously I'm dressed as a bloody puppy today. Like, there's ways to go about it, but it's never going to be the like actual fantasy that you're fantasizing in that sense. So, but I really enjoy it. I think there's so much under that umbrella that it's hard to put it down to just one thing. So
yeah,
the next one is
next
breath play.
Ooh.
What's your thoughts on breath play? Have you had experiences?
I have. First to say, don't practice alone.
Yep.
It can be quite dangerous. And we all know. I remember Stephen Gately. What was he, Westlife or Blue or one of them? Who ended up killing himself because of autoerotic asphyxiation. Erotic asphyxiation is great. It's the auto, which is the self, that's the problem. Because that gets you, if you've not got a way out, you're dead. But it is great fun. It's the release when you get the oxygen back to you. It's that rush. And it, when combined with other stuff, it is definitely fun. And also, in terms of like submission and giving yourself over to someone literally controlling your life's breath, is a very hot power play.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think, as you said, it's definitely one of the more extreme kinks. So if you're going to do it, you do it with someone that knows what they're doing. You do it with someone you trust, and you start slow, and you can build up to it over time, but don't rush into it because obviously it can be a lot. I've done breath play with other people who have kind of dommed, and they've done it on me, so that I can sort of learn how it feels and what I can take and what I can tolerate. I think with breath play as well, it's really important to have some kind of signal because obviously you can't use your mouth. So I think making sure that you have some way of telling the person that, like, okay, that's my limit, or sort of where you can get up to is really important.
Yeah. I think choking would probably be the entryway to it because that's quite a dominant thing. And I think a lot of vanilla people will play, they're the same thing in my mind. You'd start with like choking as a kind of dominant and then you'd lean into further breath play. Again, choking's quite fun. It's, it's a similar kind of thing. Well, like, there's all sorts of different ways to practice it. Like, if someone's wearing a gas mask, you just cover their port that they breathe through. You can do bagging, which is really dangerous, especially on your own. But then like serious male bondage have these setups where they'll have you breathing controlled by a machine. So like it controls the airflow. So you've literally got nothing until the machine gives you the airflow, and then they'll time it up with electroblasts and stuff, and it's this whole event. So it's definitely needs to be practiced safely with good people. But it is a really, as you just choking, it can be a really simple howl play and really effective.
Yeah. I think it's one of the more cost-effective ones as well because it doesn't really take any equipment in that sense. There are like latex hoods that I know have like the breathing mask over it, so they allow air in. It's almost like a sack, but over time, obviously, that air starts to disappear. So I know you can do things like that, but again, you need to make sure that when you're doing that, you either have a way to take it off when you've had enough, or for someone else to be in that situation. So I think personally, I do enjoy it. I think it gets very intense for me very quickly, because you get very light and dizzy in the head, and obviously that's the whole point. It's kind of like removing the oxygen, so that's kind of the excitement because it gets you in this headspace. I think for me that sometimes is quite a lot, but I do still enjoy it, especially things like gas masks. I think I prefer doing it with a gas mask rather than just like someone's hand over my face, or in some cases you can sit on someone's face. That's always quite fun. I was doing that the other day, which is cool. But I do prefer doing breath play with things like gas masks because I think that the aesthetic is really cool.
Yeah. I feel like with like apparatus and with the gas mask, like that's there's sort of a safety built in.
Yeah.
As soon as that is uncovered, you're fine.
Yeah, and you can at least like move away. If someone's holding their hand over the hole to stop the airflow, you can hopefully just tug away, and then you can breathe again if you really desperately need to. So
yeah. Well, I just I had experience recently where I was he wouldn't let me kiss him, the little bastard. But we were playing and we were having a bit of fun, and then he was holding me by my neck, and I was trying to go for a kiss, and he was just throwing me.
It's like, I want to kiss you.
Yeah, and it was really good fun. And it's just a really simple, effective tool in that sense. But I really do enjoy a bit of breath play.
Awesome. Well, let's see what you score it.
That's the breather bag on a latex board. It's not filthy.
So you scored it an 8.
I have. I need to experience more of it, but I do think it's a really good, fun thing to play with, for sure.
No, I've scored it a 4 because I think, for me, it's not one at the top of my list. As we've spoken about things like guns, we've spoken about fantasy. I think those things really excite me. Whereas when I think about breath play, it isn't the same sort of feeling. I know for a lot of people, it's kind of very high on their list. And when I speak to a lot of kinksters, like it's something that they are always like excited to do, because I think it is about that sort of getting in that headspace, and it obviously makes you think a bit differently. So I do see the excitement in it, and I also like doing it to other people rather than myself.
It's certainly like there's not a playful side to it, really. Like with the like Gunge, as I said, that feels more playful than like sensual to me. Well, sensual but not sexual. Whereas it's hard to do breath play in a like jokey way.
Yeah,
you know,
it's intense. Yeah.
And that's the point. That's why I enjoy it.
Cool. The next one on the list is poppers. And we just wanted to take a minute to give a quick shout out to Twisted Beast, who've kindly sent us, as you'll see at the front here, a wide range of their poppers on their store. We just wanted to showcase some of their products because I personally really love using poppers for sessions. I think, again, it's that idea about getting you into a headspace, a kinky headspace. I know everybody has a different preference in terms of their formulas as well, and it's important to know the difference between different poppers. You can get pentil poppers, which are a lot more harder and faster. And then you can also get more slower ones like Amor, which tend to gradually build over time as well. So everybody has their own preference. I personally like the ones that build because I prefer that feeling to last a bit longer than something that's quite rapid and just sort of stops over time. But how about you? Have you got any experience of poppers?
No, not particularly. You said the pentanol?
Pentil.
Yeah. That's the hard and fast one, but then goes quite fast as well.
Yeah. So you'll get a hit quite quickly, but then it will also disappear.
Well, see, the one time that I can remember doing it was many moons ago. I had the flu, and a fellow was reading it to me through a gas mask filter, so it was just like constant, and it wasn't the right time, best mix. I don't know what kind it was. It was fine, but I was just like, oh, because I just had a headache, and then it made it worse. So I've been kind of averse to it, and I don't necessarily play with fisting that much, which is also what poppers are great for, because they help you relax. I'm not against it, but I am fairly novice to it. Yeah. And slow build, probably something I'd want to try first. I don't like a hard fast.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd want it to be a build. I'd like to know what will come in.
Different reactions to them. I know the first time I took poppers, like I got a headache because I think it was one of the quicker ones, and I was like, oh no. What's going on here? Yeah. But then I tried the Amor poppers, and I was like, oh, actually, I really enjoyed this, and it builds slowly, and it's fun because that feeling of sort of lust, I feel, starts to build over time, and you just look at the other person in the room, and then you're like, oh my god, I just want to like kiss you and touch you, and you just feel each other like pressing up on each other. It's amazing. But
so it makes you amorous.
It does. It's wonderful. I think like it just really does get you in that kinky headspace away from like the world around you. It's just you and them, which I really like as well. I think, as you said as well, I'm a big fister. I've said that before, so that's obviously why I do a lot of poppers as well. I just quite enjoy, again, getting in that space, because with fisting in particular, it's quite easy to get in your head about something that big going into your booty hole. So having something like poppers to kind of just get you relaxed and forget about the what's exactly happening and just enjoying the feeling.
That's what I'd want it for, because I can get quite in my head about anything generally. Yeah. And then when it comes to any kind of session or sex or whatever, I'm in it for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is all absurd. What am I wearing? Give me a pizza. Yeah. So anything that prolongs the, initial rush that you get when you interacting with someone like that, is for the better.
Yeah.
So I'll have to dip my toe in.
Yeah, definitely. I think poppers are good if you want like a long session because, as you said, like things like ammo, I think that will help over time. Just kind of get you both in this state of nothing else exists. Especially when you're both rubbered up and you're just enjoying each other and like the feeling of the rubber and all of that. It's like, for me, that nothing beats that. I think that's amazing. So,
well, I wonder what number you're going to write down.
Curious. I've gone for 9, which I'm sure isn't any surprise. But I think just especially when you're doing a poppers session with rubber or a fisting, I think because it complements so well with my favourite kinks, I think that's why for me it just makes perfect sense.
For 2. I had one bad experience. I've not had any others. Nothing to do with the. That's just all I can. That's my favourite reference. If it smells like these pens, I'd be down. Yeah. They smell quite nice.
I think, and as well, like obviously we've been given the poppers by Twisted Beast. We can take some home after this and see if we can give you a better experience. So.
Yeah, I'll have to just be monging out on my sofa.
Yeah, I mean we've got enough to last us for a lifetime now. I think so.
Well, that's another thing. The intake. I won't know how much. Just a sniff here and there, I suppose. Yeah,
we'll start with 1 sniff. The way as well that you use them is completely within your gift, and some people like to take more, take less. But yeah.
Yeah. Definitely something worth trying.
The next one on the list is group sex. Have you had much experience of more than just you and one other person?
Yes. I'm racking the brains now. So, dark rooms, occasionally, you'll go in with a gentleman and then another gentleman will join you. So I find more hands is often more fun. And then my first proper kink outing, I ended up going on with a couple. So that was fun. I haven't had the idea of just being an anonymous gimp for everyone's use is very hot fantasy, but it's not something I've achieved or something I think I'll achieve for a long while yet, because I would want to, I'd want to know the people, or at least know, it'd be a very complicated thing to set up, but it's definitely something I'm interested in, and the idea of just a group of rubber men enjoying each other, is for sure hot.
Yeah, I think it's for me it's about the dynamic between everyone involved, because you could have 3 or 4 people in the room, but if one of them isn't really getting like what's going on and making sure everybody feels involved as well. For me, that's one of the biggest challenges of group, is when you get someone that isn't giving the other people the same amount of attention, when all their attention's on one person. I absolutely hate that. It makes me feel awful, because I'm just like, why are you not interacting with them as well as me, or like vice versa? Like, even if they miss me out, I can tell that the other 2 are like getting it on, and I'm like, right, well, I should just probably leave you to it then in that sense. I think you need to make sure there's a good dynamic. You need to make sure everybody feels involved. Everybody is like attracted to each other as well. And I think that it can be really beautiful. I regularly have group sex with my partner as well, because we're in an open relationship and we really enjoy just inviting people over and having fun all together. And I think it's nice because both me and my partner are fully switch, fully versed. So there's a lot of combinations of ways that we can play and bring in different kinks and all of that. So that's always quite enjoyable. So for me, I do quite enjoy group sex. I think I prefer 1-to-1 purely because I like to build a connection with somebody. And I think that's something you sometimes can't get as much when there's more people in the room. But
that's that feeling of just all being on the same vibe is really quite a high. It's really fun to be a part of that. But again, that can not last very long if something goes askew or if someone else isn't paying enough attention to the other people, kind of thing. So it can be difficult to find the right balance for it. It is fun, and it's something I'd probably never say no to unless I was in a bad mood. Oh, there's someone in there I really didn't like. And again, it'd probably be more like I don't like that person rather than I'm not attracted to them, because you can get away with most things. I'll give everything. Everyone will get a good shot, as it were, But it can be from someone who's single, perpetually, broken-heartedly single, and doesn't play often. It can feel a bit like a political nightmare, getting people on the right wavelengths, people who are into each other, people that you're into, and that are wanting the same things. Well, and then obviously you're living this poly lifestyle where anything goes. So He's quite blessed.
And I mean,
But
Manchester's
imagine his work.
yeah, and Manchester's quite good for it because there's so many Kingsters across the city that I think you'll always find different dynamics and different things that work. One thing that I have attended recently that I actually really enjoyed was a fisting party as well. We basically just went over and there were like 15 guys and some were tops and some were bottoms and we all just kind of throughout the day swapped holes. And it was wonderful, and I think it's such a nice dynamic when you know that you're just in a room full of people that all are thinking the same thing. They all are feeling just as open-minded about what's happening. Everybody's super friendly as well, and I think because they've also it's also a group that I've become quite close friends with now as well, which has been really nice because of things like that. You also get to know each other in those spaces. It's also not intense the entire time. You can go and play, and then you go back into the lounge and you chill and you chat and all of that. And then if somebody wants to play again, then you go back off. So things like that I do also really enjoy.
Yeah. It's Manchester can sometimes feel like a wild nirvana of nonsense. When I visit this city and things that happen here and the stories I hear about other people. I mean, sometimes it feels absurd that this stuff's happening. Because I think I'd probably manage quite well in that scenario, but when you're thinking it on the outside, you're like, what the fuck do you do in that kind of position? Where it's, just groups of people and just taking each other into other rooms and filling them up. Yeah. It all seems quite wild when you think about, the weekend before I'd have just been sat at home eating mini eggs. Yeah. It's quite a leap. Mini eggs. I really want one. It's been a fucker this time of year to go off kink for a minute, because they only run from, January to April or whenever Easter finishes. Yeah. I went on a mini egg binge and I was like, why have I got so spotty? It's because I've been eating so many mini eggs. But doing a year's worth of intake in 4 months, it's bad for my health. They should do them year round.
Oh, but they taste too good, honestly.
Well, they're £5.50 for the big bags, but then it's £2 for the really small bags.
It is.
So it's not economically viable to buy the small bags, but then the big ones last no time.
You know what's better than a mini egg is a cream egg. No. I love a cream egg. You're insane. Yes. No. Cream egg.
This comes back to the gunge. I'm not a big fan of goop.
It's full circle back to kink.
I'm not a big fan of goop in any scenario.
No,
goopy, globby stuff.
Agree to disagree then.
Yeah, well.
What are you giving it? I'm giving it a 7. 6. I give it a 7 because I think, as I said, I really do enjoy it. But if I had to choose between group or one-on-one, I will always choose one-on-one over it. But I have also had some great experiences in group.
See, I'm 6 because I haven't had that much experience of it. I have had good experiences, but I'd value more of an intimate connection than a group scenario.
Yeah. The next kink is voyeurism or exhibitionism. What do you think about that?
Well, I have no thoughts on that. That's not something I'm into at all, really. Obviously,
even in dark rooms.
Well, this obviously at an event when there's a dark room, but I'd never go in there on my own to watch. I might go in there to find someone, and then jump on them, but I wouldn't with consent. But I wouldn't. Watching some people get off doesn't do much for me. I mean, seeing people getting off in the corner of a club, if I think they're hot, that can be hot. But I don't want to watch that. I can do that at home. I've never really seen the appeal of showing off or seeing other people show off. I like things that are hot, but I'd rather be involved in it. Yeah. How about you?
I think I'm the same. I think I quite enjoy being in the moment and being part of what's happening. There have been times when I've quite enjoyed watching my partner get off with people, and I know that he also is the same as well.
But is that not cooking?
In a sense, I think kind of the lines blur, I guess, because it's really about watching other people sort of getting it on. I think the exhibitionism side more so from my side. I quite like, especially when we're in a club and I'm in a dark room, knowing that we're putting on a show. That kind of happened when last time I went to Darklands. Well, yeah, and I'm proud of it. But when we went to Darklands last year, that was quite fun because I took this beautiful muscle boy into the dark room. And we were just playing away. And then I turned around and didn't even realise there's this huge crowd of people just watching us. And I was like, oh, it's kind of fun actually, knowing that everybody's kind of getting off on what's happening here. So.
See, that thing, I'll pop through a dark room. But this thing, it's a pop through. I'll have a look, see if there's anyone there that I know. or that I'm interested in, or that, but I wouldn't initiate anything in a dark room. I'd have seen someone out front that we'd spoken about, and then if we said, "Oh, I'll see you in the dark room later" or something, and then I see him and go over. But I wouldn't go into dark rooms just to watch. And if there were some good stuff going on, I'll take a glance.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll spend 30 seconds there. But I'm not. I'd rather be involved or not be there at all.
That's fair. What about like outdoor as well? Because I've got some friends that actually love like going out into the park, and like there's obviously certain spaces where you can go cruising.
Yeah.
That's quite big in the gay community in particular, but they quite enjoy that like outdoorsiness because you don't know who's kind of around or watching. So
you see, for me, because mostly I want to be in gear and I don't want my gear to get dirty.
Yeah,
I don't want to be outside.
Goes back to the mess.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I'm not against it if someone were to want to, but I wouldn't go cruising. That's not something I'm after really, because it is about, and you can make a connection with someone just through eyes. Like it's happened to me across a dance floor in a club where you've just connected with someone and then you've moved together and stuff started happening. And I suppose that's what cruising is. Yeah. But I don't. One, it's wet and cold because we live in England. I don't need that. So no, that's not something that would be appealing to me. If I was with someone and they wanted to try it, fine. But it's very much a meh. I prefer my situations to be more controlled.
Yeah.
Just so I know where the escapes are.
Yeah.
If I need one.
So what are we giving it? I'm going for a 5. I think it's definitely more so the exhibitionism side of it. I like, as you said, to be in the moment, and it's quite fun knowing that other people are watching. For me, less so on the voyeur, but I have also quite enjoyed, like, as I said, watching my partner.
I can see the appeal of, like, enjoying. I can see it from the exhibition side more than the voyeur side, but again, just me. 2 sols.
No worries.
Sorry, guys.
Right.
I mean, change my mind. That's a challenge for you.
I think we've probably got time for one last kink. Do you want to pick the kink? Is there one in particular that we haven't spoken about that you think you'd like the audience to know?
Yes. Water sports.
Oh, good choice.
It's quite a big one for me, which I didn't realise for a very long time. But I said on this before that I don't really watch porn, I read porn. And so when you're reading rubber porn, rubber tends to be like the gateway drug, and then everything else comes in on top. And then, like, being used as a urinal, it's a dominance kind of thing. Being marked as someone's property. Or, like, you don't get to drink beer, you get to drink my beery piss, and that's how you get drunk. I think that's really hot. I was at a night out recently at full cover, and fit fella finished his pint, pissed in his glass, and I drank that. It was just really hot. I don't know why it does it to me, but it really does. It's just,
you can't argue with your chemistry, you know.
It's just a really, I find it really, like, I can't piss for shit. Like, I can't do it on command. I can't piss in a scene.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to. Don't ask me to wet myself either, because that's skews adult baby, and that's not really my vibe. Don't ask me to perform, but I can drink yours all day.
Yeah. I had a time where I had a session. He was like, "I want you to come over in like an hour and like, you know, just walk in and pee on me." And I was like, "That sounds really hot." I drank about 4 pints of water as I was leaving. I was like, "I am desperate. I'm bursting." I got there, got it out, nothing. Yeah. And I was like, "What is happening?" Like, I literally am desperate to pee, but it sometimes that performance anxiety.
Well, I used to have really bad performance anxiety just at a urinal. So I came up with a mnemonic device, which is a little thing you can do in your brain to help you get through something. So it's a little rhyme: water, water, flow through me, flow until your destiny. And I just repeat that when I'm at a urinal. And now I do it when I get to a urinal, I sing the rhyme. I don't need it anymore, but the rhyme comes to my unbidden. And it's just now, that's how I get over the bladder shyness. I can just, water, water, flow through me, flow until your destiny. Yeah. It had to rhyme, otherwise they won't stick. So that's how I got over it. But that's not hot. That is not a hot thing to be doing.
Just imagine you like there just being like...
It'd take me somewhere else and not where I wanted to be. Yeah. But I don't find pissing myself necessarily hot, though I have pissed in my catsuit before, which is quite hot, but that just mixes with the sweat and the pre and other stuff. And often I'll piss my catsuit and then I'll take it off. Yeah. Like, I'm not marinated in it. Not against marinating in it, but that's, again, you'd have to force me to do it. And if I'm in charge of the zips, then it's coming off.
Yeah. See, I have at home, I've got waterproof sheets, which are a godsend, and I definitely recommend it for any messy play. I always quite enjoy having a rubber sesh, and then like if you want to do some water sports, you can just do it on the bed rather than like most times before that I've had to go into a shower or something where you can obviously clean it up. But having those sheets means that you can just go straight for it. And like what you said, I actually quite enjoy just lying in it sometimes. Like once you've just like finished your session, you both lie there and it's all like sloshy and it feels amazing on your rubber. And so for me, like that is a top tier. So I agree. But
it's definitely probably my wildest one to a vanilla mind, other than like some Headspace drone play stuff. But yeah, it's just great fun. Although I don't like getting in my hair. I don't. The hair's a real drawback in this community. I love having long hair. It's hard work.
I was hosting the event that I do on the weekend, and there was someone that got in the back bed. And we always ask, we say, is there anywhere you don't want to be touched? And usually they're like, or the crotch or the feet or whatever it is, that's fine. This guy is like, anywhere but the hair. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I don't think we were going to be teasing your hair or anything, but some people are so precious about their hair. It was beautiful hair. It wasn't like long and flowy, but he molded it perfectly, and I was like, okay, we'll avoid the hair. I could tell he was very.
Hair is everything, Anthony. To quote Fleabag. Yeah, and it's hard to if you're not. I'm just an average build. I'm a bit short. I don't work out, so I'm skinny-ish. So the thing I've got that sets me out is I've got long hair. Especially in the fetish scene, in the gay scene. There aren't many long heads, folks. So it helps me peacock a little bit. Yeah. And also it's a good, when it's at the back, it's a good
to tug on.
Good tool to drive.
And what are you scoring that? I think I already have an idea. But...
I mean, should I go so high? I don't know. Let's go there. Always room for growth.
Yeah.
9.
Oh, I'll put a 10. I think for me, it's, as I said, I think rubber, fisting, top, and water sports, they are my top go-to. So
maybe rubber, piss, breath play, bondage. Yeah. Those would be my top 5.
Well, it's been nice to get to know you a bit better.
Again.
I think that's a nice end to the episode.
Yeah, works for me. I don't know how this is going to get clipped or whatever, but let us know what your favourites are and what ones we've missed. Like we can probably do this again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I still have about 75 kinks on this wheel we didn't talk about, so maybe we make this a recurring thing every season. So
yeah, definitely.
I think it'd be fun.
But yeah, thank you for joining us for season 2. And we've got some treats in store for you, guest speakers, and other topics that we're going to cover, including review of a certain film. So yeah. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. Rubberroom.media on Instagram for the podcast. I am Rubber Romeo.
I am Rubber Cable.
And yeah, that's where you'll find us, talking nonsense.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the flip side.
Goodbye.